Hello. Welcome to Creation. I am super excited and super pumped for today's session because of the simple fact that this is going to allow yourself to give yourself the permission to know that you have access to something higher than the freaking president of the United States. And that is the universe. It is the universe. It is God. It is Buddha. It is Allah. It's whoever you believe in. You have access with them to coexist into creating something that you desire. And that is life. You have been here to co create and to coexist together with your creator to create the life that is truly yours. And you do that through prayer, manifestation, spirituality, worshiping, and everything that I am going to share with you today. So, for the sake of today, I am going to be referencing the universe and manifestation and prayer. And we're going to do it in a non-traditional, unconventional, fun, sexy, liberating way, and that is through masturbation, self-intimacy, and the whole nine. I know. I know. And I couldn't be more excited because of the simple fact that through self love, through self intimacy, you are able to fully tap into your internal flame, your internal power, and banish any fear, any negativity that you have flowing inside of you. And because of that, you're able to co create and coexist with the universe, and nothing is going to stop you. Therefore, you'll be able to create your actual reality dedicated and created by your desires, for your pleasures, by you, for you, and to you. So, that is what we are going to dive into today. And the reason why I created this course reframe session is because I want you to know that you can always have joy in your life no matter the circumstances, no matter the circumstances. And I say that 100% confidently because I know what it's like to be at rock bottom more than once. And I'm going to share that with you today. So, a little bit about me. I am Cheyenne Williams, for those of you that don't know, and I am the CEO and founder of the Acoustic You Academy. I created this place because of my grandma. My grandma, bless her heart, may she rest in peace. She passed away from Alzheimer's, but the one thing that she always told me to do was to live acoustically. And what that meant is that she wanted us, me, my cousins, my brothers, my family, to live unapologetically, unaligned with the stereotypes, and to dance to the beat of our own drum. And so she loved music. We grew up playing piano, singing, dancing. We were a musical family. And she always says the most beautiful songs are the acoustic versions of those songs. When the beats are stripped away, when it is vulnerable, when it is naked, when it is genuine, that is when you get the pure magic. That is when you get the pure beauty. And that is when you are finally seen and finally heard because you are not being caught up in the chaos and the noise. And that really stuck with me. And so I created this whole brand about being the acoustic you because that is what this is about. It's about being raw and real and vulnerable and unapologetic in your life while showing up in your purest form. All of you, naked and all. And so that is what I want you to kind of keep in mind as we go through this life is what kind of life are you creating? And is it real, raw, and unapologetic? And is it you? Or are you getting caught up in the beats and the chaos and the noise of the world around you? And if you are, that is okay. It is okay because you will be able to still live a life by your design and by your desires by taking simple steps to change your habits every single day. And that habit starts with self love. And so, the biggest way that I learned self love was about 8 years ago. I was in a severe domestic violent relationship, physical, sexual, emotional, mental abuse. And the crazy thing is that During that time, I was caught up in what they called the domestic violence cycle, right? Like that's all I knew. That's what my ego craved for is I know if he gets mad at me, he's going to beat me, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, and then 2 days later we're going to be okay. It's going to be fine, right? And so I constantly made that my reality. I had so many ways to get out, so many times I could have left, but for some reason I kept wanting to create that reality because that is what I knew. I was more comfortable being in the chaos and being in the hurt and being in the fear than I was being safe because that is what I knew. So I created it. And then, fast forward 2 years, I ended up getting pregnant by him. I was drunk, walking home one day, celebrating that I finally left this domestic violent relationship, and he offered me a ride. And back in those days, where I went to school, it was in Illinois, and they would call it white girl wasted. So I was like a hot mess walking the streets to my dorm, and he offered me a ride. And the next thing you know, I'm waking up the next day confused, naked, and 2 weeks later, I was pregnant. And when I brought it to his attention, I thought, oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna tell me to get rid of this baby, the whole thing. And I was wrong. He literally said to me, I knew you were going to get pregnant because I told God that if we were meant to be, you would get pregnant. So he tried to play God. He created his reality by getting me pregnant. Clearly, we're not together anymore. And we have created this an amazing co-parent relationship. I know it's kind of really hard to say amazing after all the things we've experienced together, but we have. We've decided to create this amazing co-parenting relationship for our daughter's sake. And now we are living this life by both of our designs, separating co-parenting in two different states with this amazing, beautiful little girl. And during that time when I was pregnant with my daughter, it was the biggest rock bottom of my life. And those moments were the reason I'm able to teach you the moments I'm teaching you today, and the tools I'm teaching you today, and the lessons I'm sharing with you today. Is because of the simple fact that I had to go through those really dark times with her dad to experience the blessings and the lessons that are going to come from this really amazing, beautiful little girl. And during those times, I did not see it that way at all because I was a single mom. I chose the hard life. I could have came back home, had my parents help me raise my kid, and I didn't. I created the hard life. I created more hurt in my life. I created a life that was going to impact me mentally, physically, and emotionally, and financially. I created that. And so when I created the hard, through those hard lessons, I had beautiful life changing moments that I wouldn't have been able to get if I decided to create the easy way out. And during those moments, I was highly suicidal, praying to God that He will just let me see the light, praying to God that I just make it out alive, praying to God that I just find my way. And I had zero faith, zero joy, and zero realization of what was happening until today. And so during those moments, I realized that I still had joy no matter what the circumstances was. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was suicidal. Yes, I was on my bended knees praying to God saying, Jesus, take the wheel. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just need to know that I need to survive another day to be for her. And that little girl kept me alive. That little girl was the light. And through all of that hurt, she was my joy. Through all of the pain, she was my power. Through all of the mistrust, she was my faith. And maybe you don't have a person in your life to be that. Maybe you don't. But you do have something, and you do have moments where you have seen the opposite when you were experiencing your worst. There has been a moment where you were in your deepest pain and something gave you power. There was a moment when you were in the deepest, darkest moment of your life and you found joy. And it's that faith that is keeping you from creating the life you truly worth living because you're relying on those moments to keep you alive. Whereas you have to know that no matter what circumstance, you find joy. That you know no matter what circumstance, you have faith, even if you are alone. And faith is trusting when nothing makes sense. Life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself in the darkest moments, in the brightest moments, and having the visualization to see it through. And that is what I'm going to share with you today, is seeing it through. And the crazy thing is that we have been given imagination. We have these beautiful things called brains, and we have these beautiful things that make us who we are to create these crazy friends when we were little. And you do the same thing for your life. And some call it prayer, some call it manifestation, some call it quantum physics, other calls it spirituality. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it all does the same thing, and that is to create. And at the end of the day, we are all the same, whether you're a spiritualist, a believer, a scientist, or an atheist. You are a creator of your own reality. We just all do it in different ways, but we all come together at the end of the day for one thing: to create the reality of our desires and of our pleasures. And that is what I want you to do. So, the way you're going to do that is through these simple steps. Okay? These simple steps. Manifesting. Okay? Manifesting through self love. That is the big bold title that you are going to put on the top of your notes, is manifesting through self love, praying through self love. Okay? Now, that self love portion is where we're going to get deep, because self love is going to take mirror work, it's going to take dancing, it's going to take masturbating, it's going to take orgasms, and it's going to take you being selfish and being all about you. And that is self love. So today I am going to teach you the ultimate self love equation, and that is manifesting through orgasms to create the life you desire. And I know, we have this stigma around sex and it being something that you barter for, but in reality, it's not. It's not something you barter for, and it's not something you should ever barter for, because of the simple fact that you are worth more. You are worth more. You are worth living a life by your desires. And again, you have access to something much higher than the president of the United States, and that is you. And so today, I want you to really realize that. I want you to really understand that. And I want you to fully embrace that everything you've been taught has been wrong. Everything you've been taught in growing up has been wrong. So I want you to stop bartering your sensuality. I know you're only doing what you've been taught, you're only doing what you know to be true, and it's wrong. Your sexual power is not about having good sex or acting out your wildest fantasies. Your sexuality is your spirituality in physical form. It's about having unconditional internal self love for all parts of you. It's about having a life that lights you up. And life is literally sexual everywhere. Life is a sexual force. You just have to open your heart and your eyes to see it. And that sexuality comes from the raindrops hitting on your face and cleansing your soul. The life sexuality comes from the sun penetrating you to give you this gorgeous glow as you're suntanning. Life sexuality is understanding that when you go to the gym for a workout, you are releasing emotions inside of you, and that, like, oh my God, feeling that you feel when you're done with the workout, like you're on top of the world, is sexuality. It's also doing yoga at the studio to become so in tune with your internal being. And the most basic form is when you are a child and you are desiring the cuddles and the crave of sleeping in your parents' bed just for comfort. That is sexuality. It is not always about sex. So once you understand that life is sexual, your mindset around orgasm, your mindset around having a life worth squirting for is going to change. Because those desires, those cravings, those needs, those wants, the feeling of intensity that comes to you through your daily habits is your sexuality, is your sensuality. And we live in a world that teaches us to be fearful of it when we really need to be embodying it. And so from now on, from one woman to the next, I want you to explore your sexiness. I want you to explore yourself. I want you to explore your desires and your pleasures and stop telling yourself to not do that. That is gross. I have kids. That's going to make me a hoe. Oh my gosh, I can't touch myself. That's a sin. Because those are all crazy lies and stories and limiting beliefs that you tell yourself. It is time to explore the pleasures. It is time to explore your desires through your physical touch and through sexual empowerment, as we all should. Not just me, as we all should, and that includes you. And so I want you to really focus on that today, because I want you to realize that it is so much more than just being alive. You will never find yourself if you don't get comfortable with yourself first. And part of getting comfortable with yourself first is learning to be comfortable in your body. So, if you're ready, go ahead and get your pen and paper out because we're about to get started. So, the first tool I want you to start practicing is mirror work. Stand, sit, kneel, whatever, in front of a mirror, naked, and show gratitude to your body. Hug your body, love your body, squeeze your body, touch your body, say I love you every single day, and look at yourself eye to eye as you're saying those things, because I promise you, you're gonna want to be like, I love you. It's okay. It's amazing. Like, no, I want you to really feel it and tell yourself and convince yourself and like look at yourself dead in the face, be like, I freaking love you. Naked. Gotta be naked, because that is the most vulnerable part of you. Now, number 2 is manifesting through orgasm. Okay, so I want you to understand that orgasm allows you to move stagnant energy. Orgasms allow you to manifest your dreams, and orgasms allow you to reconnect with your body and ground yourself back to center. Okay, and it's a spiritual practice. It is you worshiping yourself, you praising yourself, you embodying yourself. And so the way you're going to use this sex magic 100% by yourself is by using your fingers, using a vibrator, using a dildo, using whatever you are called to use. But the main thing is you do not need a partner for this magic, because it is your magic, your creation. You are the master, you are the artist, and you are the one being liberated. And there is no shame in natural pleasure. So release all the doubts, release all the expectations, and just fucking finger yourself. Finger fuck yourself, and do not focus on orgasm. Focus on your dreams at climax. Make a wish, set intentions. And as you are experiencing the sexuality moving and flowing through your body, imagine that is what it feels like when you conquer and achieve your goals. And through the sex magic, you are going to tap into your sacral and root chakras to create that manifestation into the physical dimension. So your sacral and your root chakras are going to bring everything to life. It's going to make it become from emotional to mental to physical. So I want you to really understand that orgasm is a gift from the universe. Orgasm is a gift from God. And it is so much more powerful than what we were taught to believe. And then number 3, I hope you're ready, is shadow work. So using shadow work to liberate your sexuality. All magic is sex magic. We just talked about that. Life is sexuality. Life is sex. Everything you experience is sex. Even if your act of manifestation doesn't involve a physical sex or physical masturbation, it still involves the electric energy of sex, which is the life force itself. The life energy is the force that through the green fuse drives the flowers and makes the trees and makes life around you. So anytime you step outside, you're having sex. And when you get into the shadow work of digging into your deepest, darkest fears and secrets and the things that are holding you back in your subconscious playground, I want you to start to realize that it is possible to not only celebrate and approve what you previously understood, which is your consciousness, but to also accept the taboo and the shame around the desires that you had, and then celebrate and approve your new desires, your new pleasures, your new fantasies, and awaken the divine goddess that lives inside of you. So slow down, create rituals. One of the best things that I've ever done in my life was make this a ritual. Every single day, I give the morning to myself. And that what that means is after I drop the kids off at school, before I sit down and work, I have my self-love ritual. And that includes mirror work, which I just talked about, sex magic, which I just talked about, shadow work. So I'll do journal prompts and like dive deep into my subconscious and bring out different ways to experience my thoughts and expressions and how it feels to play a role in my femininity. And then I slow it down. I finger fuck myself. I make love to myself. And it's absolutely amazing because then I am set in this creative energy. Sexual energy is creative energy. And when I'm in this creative energy, I can show up the way I'm showing up right now. And sometimes that includes not doing it by myself. Sometimes that includes me bringing in my sexy man and having him do all the pleasures for me. And it still is the same thing. But instead of me doing it, that sexual energy is coming from the both of us. So you can absolutely incorporate your partner, but you shouldn't depend on your partner to bring you that sexual energy, because I sure as hell have no problem creating that sexual energy for myself, as you shouldn't either. And so as we finish today, I want you to understand that the life you are creating can be so much more and is worth so much more once you start to fully embody who you are. And in order to do that, you have to increase that erotic energy. And when you increase that erotic energy and partner it with an increase in sexual intelligence and emotional intelligence, you can then tap into your internal power, your internal flame, and that lava that you once had settled can now finally erupt to where you can be real, raw, and unapologetically you. And so, if you want to dive more into this amazing work and dive more into my signature proven method to creating a life that is worth squirting for and creating a life of undeniable self love and increase in self awareness and the most epic form of self embodiment, I highly suggest you getting into the somatic reframe. The Somatic Reframe is my signature program. It is a 4-week group activation where you will be diving in to everything I do, and a signature proven method that I have been mastering for the last 26 years of living. I am going to give it to you in 4 weeks. So these results are going to be mastery, artistry, and liberation. You're going to walk away mastering your emotional regulation, mastering your nervous system, and mastering the art of being safe in your sacred temple, which is your body. And so, if you would like more information for that, slide into my DMs on Instagram, scroll around my website, make sure you check the link in your emails for more information. But the Somatic Reframe is my rolling program. So make sure you get in there because this is going to dive deeper into everything we just talked about today. So if you're lit up, if your ears are perked up, the Somatic Reframe is for you. And we cannot wait to welcome you with open arms.